Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. So I wanted to go ahead and let you know, guess what day it is? It is D20, and what that is on the 20th of every month, I host what I call a Dungeons and Dragons reading. What it is I go through and I pull one card from a fantasy deck that has kind of a story to it. And then once I pull your card, I'll go ahead and read the story, elaborate the story with one of 3 different tarot decks. You would choose which tarot deck that you want, and I would go ahead and kind of read your fantasy D&D story using those cards. What I love about the D&D, the D20 reads, is that it is very fantasy based. Similar to other tabletop games, it's just kind of a way of reading your cards through the lens of a fictional character. And I just feel like that gives kind of a nice imagery and a nice illusion to a read that's different than the regular weekly energy or, you know, any real life type of reads. So I always just think that that's a fun way to explore a person's psyche, is to do it through the eyes of character. So I do kind of give it that, you know, I give it the theme D&D, but it's always a really fun read, and it's always really creative, and we get to delve in and use the imagination. Now, to clarify your read, I'm going to be using the Enchanted Map Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reid, and the story cards are the Raven's Wand Oracle by Stephen Hutton. All of the deck descriptions, the name and the authors, are in the description box below, as are the timestamps. If you would like to jump straight to your reading, please feel free to do so. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, one other thing that I do to clarify your read is that I do go ahead and I pull one D&D dice, and I have it in chakra colors. So that just helps clarify the read. I pull one of the dice, and it kind of gives a discernment. It further, illustrates the story. And if you follow my channel, you might have seen this in the Valentine's Day reading, but I did purchase some 8-bit dice with hearts on it, and this is technically game dice. It's really meant to be used when you're throwing to discern how much life you have. So I think I am going to go ahead and utilize these dice in addition, just to kind of round out our story and give some kind of fun definition. So I'll go ahead. And we do have the 3 decks. The first deck is the Anna K Tarot, and with it we have Falkor the Luck Dragon. He is named after one of my favorite 80s childhood movies, The Never-Ending Story, and he's always a positive and very lucky dragon. The second deck is the Witch's Tarot by Dugan, and you have kind of a Pegasus-looking horse. And again, you know, you don't have to choose by the animal if you don't want. There's many different ways to select your deck. And the last deck is the Vice Versa Tarot, and you kind of have your blue dragon right there. He's a little bit more fierce looking. But I'll go ahead and freeze the video, and if you need a little bit more time, please feel free to pause. And just kind of, it's always good to kind of pull from your instinct. I always like to look at each pile and ask the same question. Okay, what is my D&D story? And then, you know, whatever pile really you kind of get that gut feeling. Either that, or you could go by the number or the timestamp or the animal marker. But I'll go ahead and freeze frame, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So we're going to go ahead and start, and what it is you are the Anna K Tarot with Falkor the Luck Dragon. But what I always do is, let me go ahead and let's get your Raven's Wand Oracle first. So what is your D&D journey? Deck 1's D&D journey. Okay, let's go ahead, and this side of the board says what holds you back, like almost as if you're looking left to right. This is going to be what holds you back, and this is what propels you forward. So what holds them back? Deck number 1, what holds you back? Ooh. Okay, you kind of got 3 cards, so I'm going to go with it. As long as it's not like 12. What propels you forward? What aids in your journey? You'll see one extra deck here. I almost forgot about our advice deck, and that is the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. So I went ahead and grabbed those. So again, we're going to have a lot of information in this read. Okay, what is the heart? What is the dragon's heart of your situation? So deck number 1. What is the dragon's heart of your situation? Wow, you guys are getting a lot of cards, but I'm seeing your story. That's wonderful, guys. All right, and let's go ahead and let's get your chakra. What is your chakra? Ooh, you got the heart chakra. You got the number 3. And let's go ahead. Let's pull a dice. And you got 3 hearts. 3 hearts, guys. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and read your story. So you got prove yourself, and please take heart. There's a lot of really not all of the images are all witches and cats. Let me promise you. But Jenny Heart's Ease has a soft spot for cats, and in the derelict ruins of the brickworks, a colony of feral cats have made their home. Jenny tends to their well-being when able, but she must earn their trust before they'll come to her. Trust only comes with patience, so let those you want to draw closer do so in their own time. Jenny makes sure to avoid sudden moves or loud noise, and instead goes about her work calmly and softly. When we prove ourselves as stable and constant, trust will grow. So clearly, guys, your D&D journey right now is you are earning the trust of someone that is kind of either that, or you're earning the trust of a group of people that might be considered, again, just like kind of like the feral cats. They're independent, and it's a group of people. Also, you know, if this does pertain to the temperament of one person, you're proving yourself. You're proving yourself to be a reliable person, is what I see. And so that's the goal, is that it's almost as if you right now your journey involves you being consistent and being very patient and earning the trust of others. Now, what's holding you back is you got justice, you got the world, and you got the emperor. And you guys, these cards are very well shuffled, and these are 3 major arcana. So basically, I am getting the sense as if justice is about legal matters, and it is about being judged or judging others. And the world is the ending of a cycle. The world is a conclusion of a cycle of growth. You can see the moons here, and you can almost see the moon at the bottom. It's like new at the bottom, waxing, full, waning, right? And underneath it, you have the emperor, right? So I really get the feeling like this could be a work situation, either that, or this could be like, basically, I really do feel as if there is something that is there's something that's coming into a head, so to speak, and it's really, you're feeling kind of judged for either previous behavior, or you are proving yourself to be worthy of a task. And you see how the Emperor goes into the world, goes into justice, right? It's almost as if I am kind of getting the feeling as if the Emperor is a person. This could be your temperament. This could be your temperament, where the Emperor is just he's a controlling guy, and not in a bad way. He knows how he wants things to go, and he's very meticulous in making sure that it goes that way. Like, people answer to him. So this could be a boss at work, or this could just be your perception, but the fact that this is holding you back, right? It's holding you back. I think what it is that what is the completion of a cycle is between this Emperor character and justice. So I really do think that you feel like you deserve to have justice, like you deserve to be deemed worthy of either a position or a role in someone else's life, maybe several people's lives. The fact that it's a group, I really think that it might be like something, maybe you're up for a certain type of promotion or something, but you are going under a lot of scrutiny. Like, what's holding you back is that I'm getting this feeling like judgment, because it's parallel, really seems like maybe in the past there was some facet of your personality that might have come across as if you could not do this job, or that you were not consistent enough. And I'm not saying that as an affront. Please don't take that personally. I'm just reading it the way that it's coming out. And again, that sometimes you can be put under more scrutiny when it's an important job, right? Like, maybe in the past, you didn't get a chance to really show your skills at something, and now you're up for that promotion, and now you really have to show, okay, I can do this, right? So that's where the justice is coming in. It's really as if something's being scrutinized. But the completion of a cycle, it's like the world is graduation. It's the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. And I definitely see this Emperor character, and the fact that this is holding you back. I think what it is that the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you were in the Emperor energy before, you really got to kind of loosen the reins a little bit. Because again, you see the differences between these two characters, right? The Emperor's a little bit of a strict, okay, you do things my way kind of guy. And here you've got someone who's a little bit more nurturing, right? This is someone who says, hey, it's okay to trust me, I'll be here for you. I'm here for you, right? So it is telling you that the energy that's holding you back is the completion of a cycle and some kind of judgment, some kind of justice, like the balancing of scales, right? The making amends of something. But if this is your energy, it is asking you to kind of loosen that up a little bit. Don't be so much in the clinical energy. You do kind of have to prove yourself or show that you're able to do this. And I didn't even get your advice, guys. Sorry. Let me get that real quick. Advice? Oh, that was quick. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's really beautiful. All right. Now, what propels you forward is the Six of Pentacles. And you see how this guy is giving. He's giving back to someone who is less fortunate. And you can see the scales, and the fact that you have the scales balanced there. So this could very well be that this could be a situation where maybe there was something that you needed to pay back, or there was just something that you had to show that you would be responsible for, like something that you need to step up and kind kind of give back. And if you look at this, the emperor and this king look very similar, right? You know, they both have this similar kind of thing. But here, the emperor energy looks kind of cold, like people are coming up to him and like he's not approachable. And remember, this is what's holding you back. But what propels you forward is being that real approachable king. You see how warm he is? And, you know, it isn't necessarily that you have to give money, but pentacles are real world things. It's pentacles are things that you value. So a lot of times what people value is time. You know, you talk about like the love languages, maybe somebody just, you know, maybe the way that you would prove yourself, the way that you would show that. And again, you see hands, you see giving hands in the middle and in the end there. So I think what it's telling you is just, if you need to prove yourself or show that you're consistent and reliable, what you want to do is you want to share what has value. And again, that doesn't have to be money. Whatever this person values, whether it's quality time, whether it's, you know, just checking in, you know, talking to you once a day, or just showing that you are there when they need. Because the other thing that I'm seeing is that this person would come to you when they need something, right? When they need to lean on you. And if you're consistent with that, then that will prove yourself. Now, the dragon's heart of the situation is slow and steady and metamorphosis, right? So again, it's saying that it's going to take time, and pentacles are very slow moving energies too, right? A lot of times the Six of Pentacles does mean that maybe in the past you were the person that was in need, and now that you're in a better place, you can give back, like you can pay it forward. So that's a big meaning of the Six of Pentacles. But the fact that I see metamorphosis and slow and steady, I'm really thinking that in the past, maybe you were just really kind of tough. You know, maybe you were going about your career, or you were going about whatever this justice was in a very kind of rigid way, a very the emperor is a little bit of the military mentality, like you march until you do it, right? You just, you know, plug away at it, and there's not a whole lot of sentimentality with him. It's very drill sergeant. But here you see that that's not the case with this king. This king is being really approachable and quite kind, and, you know, and patient too. So I do think that it's telling you that the heart of the matter is that you do have to go through whatever process of proving yourself. You do have to go slow and steady. You need to take your time with it, but you are going through a metamorphosis. You are changing from the emperor and justice energy into the king, this Six of Pentacles king. And I really wanted to say King of Pentacles because that's what he looks like too. And the other thing is that you're not alone in this. It looks like you might have support, you know, and you might want to also, because it looks like you are there for several people. You're there for people who are peers on the same level as you, and also those who are less fortunate. Now, the advice card that you got is you got Rainbow Blessings, and it says blessings are showering your life. So I think, and definitely what that's telling you is that, and then the neat thing is that you see rain in this card, but then you see a rainbow, and you see that, you know, he's in a castle that's beyond the mountains. I think what it's reminding you is that it is a blessing. You know, sometimes it's hard being there for other people. Sometimes it's hard being that leader that everyone has to rely upon. But there are wonderful blessings in being that reliable person, right? There's a blessing in being that, and being the person that people turn to when they need you, right? And the other thing is, it's a blessing to have enough to give back. So I think it's also reminding you that if you feel like this proving yourself process is going too slow, just know that metamorphosis takes time, and try to stay in a place of gratitude. You're very fortunate that you have enough to give, and that's what it wants you to remind you. And if you stay in that energy of gratitude, you will always have enough to do this. You'll have what you need to accomplish that metamorphosis. Now, the chakra die that you got is you got the green one, and you got the number 3. And so the green is the heart chakra. And I really love the fact that the slow and steady has a lot of green in it. It looks like the same colors. And so I do think that it is telling you that you do want to open your heart. You want to open your heart. And then you got the 3 of hearts in reverse. And, you know, initially the way I was going to read this was I was going to read it as, you know, lives, like how much energy that you have. And I think it's interesting because the 3 is right in the middle. You don't have 6 lives, but you got 3. It's almost like all this justice energy. You got enough, right? You're not, I think what it's reminding me, what I'm thinking is that maybe you see how the scales are staying completely even. It seems like the moment that you get so many pentacles, like the moment you get 6, you are giving 3 back. So I think what's happening, and I think what another energy that I'm picking up on here is that don't be resentful that as you're getting kind of way ahead, that, you know, you might get taken back down to middle ground, because at least you're still in the middle, right? You break even, right? You are not wanting, and anybody else is not wanting. You're all on the equal level. So maybe you are helping somebody financially. I am kind of getting that. Maybe this is some kind of legal that where you legitimately owe this person back. But don't take heart in the fact that, again, you know, you might get up to 6 hearts and then have to give some of those hearts back or give some of those pentacles back. But you are abundant. Again, blessings are showering your life. You have enough to give back and have things be equal, and that is a blessing. And if you stay in that energy, you'll be in a very, very good place. All right, guys. So that was really amazing. I really enjoyed that. I always get a kick out of these reads. So go ahead and we'll put your card on top. And we'll put Falcor right next to your chakra and your heart die. All right, so deck number 2, you got the Witch's Tarot by Dugan, and you got the Pegasus, and he's a very masculine looking Pegasus. Honestly, you know, he's not girly. So just if that gives you any peace. And there's really some awesome cards in this fantasy deck too. I don't want you to think it's all, you know, cats and witches. All right, so deck number 2, what is your D&D story? Deck number 2, what's deck number 2's D&D story? Okay, we'll keep going. We'll get a flipper. What is deck number 2's D&D story? Oh, yeah. Oh. What did I tell ya? It's not all girly, guys. It's not. Totally not. Look at that. Ba-boom. All right. So let's go ahead and before we read our story, let's go ahead and what holds deck number 2 back? What hinders? Oop. Okay, the Page of Pentacles kind of wanted to come out, but here, you see this? We're going to go with that one. Ooh, we got the 6 of Pentacles last time. I wonder, again, sometimes I wonder if I have cross-watchers. Maybe one person in the situation is picking one pile, the other person's picking the other. Okay, now what propels you forward? What propels you forward? That is a really badass witch. I hope I can say that on YouTube. Okay. The Empress and the 4 of Cups are peeking out, but let's keep shuffling until we actually get the right on the nose one. What propels you forward? Oh, you saw that. Holy Toledo, guys. Ooh, we got the Emperor last time. I swear I'm cleansing my energy. I'm not contaminating your read or anything, I promise. Okay, what is the heart of your situation? Ooh. And what is the advice for your situation? It's a really badass switch. What is the advice? For deck number 2. What is the advice? Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna double check here. I'm keeping in. Okay. Let's get one card. What is the advice? Grounding was the other one that wanted to come out, and I will keep that in mind as we're doing this. So, what is your chakra? What is your dice chakra? Ooh, okay, we got 9, and let me double check. Yep, that is sacral. I get my sacral and my solar plexus mixed up because the one's very goldenrod and the other one's very yellow. Okay. Ooh, 3 of hearts in reverse again. Guys, what are the chances? I'm serious. I don't know if this is a collective. There is such a thing as a collective where we can kind of have a common denominator energy. It's kind of like a energetic think tank. But seriously, okay? I'm going to hold these up. What are the chances? If there's a statistics major out there, please tell me the odds, because that's pretty freaking me out. Not in a bad way. All right, guys. So let's go ahead, and this is exciting. This is the first time that this is Black Wand's Redemption, and that's the first time it's come out in one of my reads. I'm so excited. Can you feel it? I'm excited. All right. Black Wand's Redemption. Sunday Flowers revealed her powers to seduce and manipulate, but her misguided attempt to serve witchcraft led her to making a terrible mistake. In her unending quest to atone, she abandoned her past and became Black Wand, and faced many terrifying challenges. Black Wand reminds us that no matter what we've done wrong, we can try to make amends. It might be frightening to confront those we have wronged, but genuine liberation is worth the risk. Maybe you believe your transgressions are so grave that they can never be washed away, or that those you appeal to might not forgive you. This might be true, but to flinch from the call to atone is an even greater error. And wow, guys, we just had a tarot on judgment, and I'm just getting such a judgment vibe, on the tarot card judgment. I'm getting such a judgment vibe from this, but she is. Okay, so she's, I would say that, I'd say that in Dungeons and Dragons that she would definitely be a, what do you call it? What's the word for it? Somebody who's, I'm not thinking of it. If you can put it in the comments below, I promise. I'm getting much better. I'm reading the books, but yeah, that's pretty wild. So she has a past of being able to manipulate and seduce and to make atonement, to make amends. She's become known as Black Wand. Now, what holds you back? So basically, I do think that you have, you've got a lot of intensity about you. You have an allure that a lot of people like. You look good in black. I have a feeling I'm getting a strong Scorpio vibe off you. You have probably a lot of Scorpio. And there is a whole generation that has Pluto conjunct, or has Pluto in Scorpio, which is its ruling planet, which makes you quite a powerhouse. Either that, or if you have Pluto conjunct in your chart, that makes a powerhouse too, especially if it makes any type of aspects from Pluto to your Venus, or, really any other planet. But basically it makes you very alluring. And, to quote Stan Lee, with great power comes great responsibility. You do not, in a world where there is such a thing as karma, you going through the world and having that magnetism, you can manipulate. And the definition of manipulation is to handle with dexterity, which, when you look at the definition, it doesn't sound that bad. But when you think about it, it's like, it is kind of a golden rule type of thing, where you would treat people the way you want to be treated. If you did, if you did have experiences where you knew that someone might give you what you want and you didn't really give them what they wanted in return, or you kind of, got away with something, so to speak, then that would involve some atonement, right? It would involve at least an apology, or at least an acknowledgement that happened. Now, what holds you back and what was in the past is you got the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles, I take the artwork into consideration with this, but you see, here, the typical meaning of the Six of Pentacles is, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you see a man holding a scale, but there's usually two beggars at his feet. And he's giving coins to the one beggar, and then the other beggar seems like he's waiting and not getting any coins yet. In this deck, you see two small children, right? And what I'm seeing here is that I'm thinking that it's one of a few things. I'm really focusing on how the gold glitters, right? And you see how excited the children are. You see how they're just looking down. They're not even really paying attention to the source of where this money is coming from. So I really just kind of get the vibe as if, just like the look on this man's face. I know this is a benevolent card. I know that this is a card of, helping those who need it, or you being in a position to help those who cannot, who are not, at the stage where they can give themselves this benefit. But I really am kind of getting a vibe as if maybe you really you were probably kind of giving more to one person, either that, or if you had a situation where you knew that the flash of that gold would attract one person, but you had another person that maybe wasn't quite fallen for it, that you gave more attention to the other. You got away with what you could get away with, and then, anybody, I'm really kind of getting a vibe of anyone who would call you on your behavior, you might have kind of done a little bit more of a get over kind of maneuver. And it doesn't make anybody bad. It doesn't. It's not, this isn't a shame thing. But it is just telling you, and again, this witch has atoned, right? This witch has atoned. Now, but again, this is the card that holds you back. And again, it's it's with the Six of Wands, he's kind of giving coins more to one person than to another. But both of these children are really mesmerized by the flash of the gold. They're like, oh, this is the greatest thing. I'm really kind of getting a vibe like part of your magnetism, and the reason that this holds you back, or this is a negative, is that you probably got into a situation where someone thought that you could do no wrong. They were really dazed by the flash of the gold, right? And it's not necessarily that you bribed anyone. It's not like that. But I think that they just, I'm kind of getting that all that glitters kind of feeling, like someone just thought you were gold, right? They thought you were golden. And maybe that was not entirely true, or maybe that you kind of played up that image because you liked the attention. And that's what holds you back. That's what deters you from making amends. And again, you can see her back is turned to this behavior, right? Her back is turned. to that. We're not, you're not doing that anymore. Now, what propels you forward is you got the Emperor. You got the Emperor. And what I think is neat is that you do see two children in the distance there. It almost looks like the same two children that are there, right? But what's cool about the Emperor is that you see the Emperor sits on his throne, and he is, in tarot, he is the king of kings. Emperor rules kings. He's like the CEO. He's like the top of the food chain. And he's very in control. He's in control of his emotions. He's in control of his behavior. And he controls the situation. And I'm feeling that with all this magnetism, I'm definitely getting a vibe of willpower. I can just look at her face and be like, okay, she keeps a poker face. She does not let anything, she has a strong sense of will. Right? She will make amends. She gets what she needs to get done, by sheer force of will. And if the pitfall in the past was manipulation, I think what's happening is, what helps you control that or helps you manage that is just like a sheer force of will. You say, I am not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to allow this to happen anymore, right? And you do see that he kind of has, he looks like he has a golden, ball in his hand, right? But it's like he's not offering that to anyone. He's holding that, and honestly, that's the symbol, that's the Egyptian symbol of eternal life, right? That is a very scorpionic symbol, by the way. But I do just think that what you do is you're not going to allow any more bad karma to happen. You're going to control it. You're going to control yourself. You're going to control the situation. Now, the only caution with that is that the Emperor can get a little out of hand with that sometimes. He can get a little too controlling, but he didn't come out in the reverse. He came out in the upright. So, and this is what propels you forward, or this is where you're headed to. So I do think that you're going to keep whatever bad behavior under wraps. You're not going to allow it to get out of hand again. Now, the dragon's heart of the situation is protecting treasure. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to read from the book just because the definition in the book just describes it far better. There's a few cards that, the book definition is way better than anything I could say. But although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound, no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone, and you have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. So I think what it's telling you, and that really does speak, again, it almost looks like the witch, right? It almost looks like her. What it's kind of telling you is like, don't fear, you're kind of, again, with the willpower, and we talked about holding it in. Is that dude? Hold on. No, that's dude who wishes he were dude with no muffler. Sorry, guys. False alarm. Nope, never mind. Oh my God. It's almost comical. It's like you can egg time it. Seriously. Oh my God. All right, sorry, that was dude with no muffler. And for those who are new to my channel, that is the guy with the modified Camaro, the illegal muffler kit that he has, I think, has been cited for, but he likes to audio bomb my readings, and it drives me crazy. I caught him twice coming and going one day, and that's dude. So anyway, protecting treasure. So I think again, again with the gold and the golden coins, I think what is happening is that it talks about strengthening the integrity of your friendships. I think what you really do want to do is that you want to keep a lid on any bad behavior. You want to be a better person. You want to be that emperor. You want to be that person that people look up to. You want to be that's the other thing, is that the emperor is a very responsible guy. He's responsible not only for himself, but like a whole hierarchy of people under him. So he has to have scruples, right? He has scruples, right? He has morals. And I think you really want that. You don't want to be known as someone who manipulates. You don't want to be known as someone who's out for your own needs and no one else's. So I think as you are making amends, you see how there is rain, but there's a rainbow, right? And there was a rainbow in the last pile. Again, I feel like these are cross watchers or something. But what you're going to do is, again, you're gonna do your best to make things right, but you do have a delicate balance of not getting over controlling. You gotta let your natural sense of self out, but you do want to make sure that you don't fall back into that bad behavior. Anything that was harmful to others or caused bad karma, you want to keep that under lock and key. But the fact that it says that your angels and guides are there for you and to be loyal to what you love, I think it really is telling you that, it's not telling you that you can't express yourself. It's just be very honest about it. Don't string anybody along. If you feel like somebody is really looking at you like you're the bee's knees, say, okay, how do I feel about this person? Let me be honest about how I feel about this person. Let me not give them any false hope or don't let anybody believe that you're something that you're not. And I think you're doing a good job of that. You're doing a good job, and honestly, you do seem like you have your guides or your higher power, your source, whatever that be. If it's God, if it's the universe, if it's your spirits, but they are on your side. And I'm getting a real strong ancestor vibe too. I always feel like, I don't know. I don't know if you have an ancestor that takes on a certain animal, or if you see a certain animal and you think of that ancestor. But also, sitting on top of the treasure chest, you see the crown, right? See that crown? It looks like the same crown that's on the emperor's head. So I do think it's almost as if, when you take that crown off, you are maintaining your composure, and you're making sure, I think you're almost checking in with yourself a lot to make sure that you're keeping on the level, right? Because the other thing about the Six of Pentacles is normally there's a scale, there's a scales of justice. So, but here you are definitely being told that you're on the right path, and you really do have a lot of abundance from the work that you're doing. The inner work that you're doing is serving you well, and just keep up the good work, and that, again, stay loyal to what you love. Just be true to you, and don't let your willpower be used in the wrong way. Now, the other thing, the advice that you got is you got embracing enthusiasm. Shout to the heavens with happiness. And this is a little bit of a blow sunshine card, I always thought. But I think I see it a lot like the sun as well, and the fact that you have a rainbow kind of breaking through the clouds. I think it is telling you that you have been through a lot. What I feel like is you've been through a lot, and it really doesn't want you to be, the emperor's a very shut in kind of guy. I think it does want you to embrace happiness where you find it. It doesn't mean that you have to be all on lockdown like the way this treasure chest is. It doesn't have to be all on lockdown. And again, your guides are putting an umbrella over you, right? They're not going to let you get rained on. So I think the advice is, embrace joy where you can. If you have a moment of true victory, enjoy that. You have been working hard, and you're not a bad person. There's not a single person on this planet who has not had some kind of karma, or we're not perfect. No one is a perfect person. Everybody has made mistakes and done things that they regret, and so But I definitely feel like it is kind of, I always refer to it as not knowing your own strength. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And when you're first learning the balance, and again, the balance of what you can do and how people respond to you, I always say that, just like, someone who lifts weights, they might be able to come over and knock something over with just the push of their finger. And I might have to put my whole force into it to do the same thing. Sometimes you just don't know your own strengths. Sometimes you don't know your own magnetism. And it doesn't make you a bad person, but it definitely means that while you were learning how to manage that magnetism, if you did knock a few people over inadvertently or intentionally, you do want to make that right, and then moving forward, be mindful so it doesn't happen again. Now, you definitely got the sacral chakra, and you got the number 9, and the number 9 is the precursor to 10. I always see the number 9 as being in the home stretch, right? It means that you're almost there. You're almost completing the cycle. You're doing a really great job. I feel like your guides are kind of cheering you on to the finish line. And the sacral chakra deals with pleasure. So this is an over 18 read, so it's very sexual. It's very sexual. You have a lot of desires, and definitely if you have any Scorpio in your chart, you're a passionate person. And you could be passionate about other things. You could be passionate about work projects or creative projects, but definitely if it involves relationships, you could be passionate about people, right? And the thing is that I really feel like you're coming to the end of a cycle with that, because the positive manifestation of your sacral chakra is pleasure, right? It's satisfying that kind of carnal need, that very base primal, and we're humans, we're animals, we have certain needs that need to be met. They're not bad, but the negative expression of the sacral chakra is guilt. And definitely, if you feel like you've been unfair, or you feel like you've kind of bedazzled somebody, you kind of got them to see only your pluses, and then maybe, to get pleasure, the side effect of that would be guilt if you are trying to make amends. And then the 3 of Cups, and again, we got the 3 of Hearts upside down, is that, and I said this with the last pile, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a different description. Here I am kind of seeing, like, the 3 of Hearts when you're reading playing cards would read as the 3 of Cups upside down. And the 3 of Cups is kind of that party vibe. It's that, I think what you're doing is, as you're balancing your sacral chakra, I think you are doing some type of meditation. I'm really getting a vibe as if you're doing something to exercise that energy in yourself. You might not necessarily be doing it in the traditional chakra way, but I do think that you're doing something to exercise that energy, so it's not guilt, so it's not pleasure, and that it's not ruling you. But I think one of the steps that you're taking is that you're kind of moving away. Again, you're completing a cycle. You're moving away from the party vibe. I think part of your work is that you're staying away from frivolous or casual relationships. Either that, or if you do decide to enter into them, that you're being real honest about it. You're saying, okay, this is what this is. I don't, I think you're managing it very well, but I think part of your work is that you're just, the other thing about the Emperor is that he's not a real, he's not a lecherous guy. Well, not even lecherous. He's not promiscuous. He is the counterpart to the Empress. So I think what it is that, and when I see the 3 of Cups in reverse, it almost makes me feel like you are looking for your divine counterpart. And you can be a man or a woman manifesting as the Emperor. It just means that you're looking for your divine counterpart. You're not going to settle for anything less. You're really not doing anything. You're not looking for anything to fill a void. You know what I mean? You don't want anything that's nothing. I don't want to call it superficial, because relationships aren't superficial. As long as you're 2 consenting adults, it doesn't matter. But you are looking for your other half. You're really not going to put any time or energy into anything that isn't that. But guys, that's your D&D reading. Wow, that's really good. That's really positive energy and good for you, because seriously, again, you know, there are no perfect people. We all have our own journey. We all have our own work. You know, none of us there are no angels here, no, for certain. So we'll go ahead, put your Pegasus there, your manly Pegasus. All right, so deck number 3, the Vice Versa Tarot. I really love that deck. I was excited to pull out some of these decks. I hadn't pulled out the Witch's Tarot in a while, or the Anna Kay. So deck number 3, what's your D&D story? Okay, this card really wants to pop out. You see it? So we're going to go with that. A Call of Longing. Okay, and let's go ahead and what holds back here, if you can see? What holds deck number 3 back? Oh, and that flipped. That's the back side. No, that's the right side. Wow, it's even going the opposite direction. What it is that with this deck, there is no formal card back. The back of the card is considered the inverse, or the reverse, the upside down of it. So I read it that way. It's read that way. Okay, the Lovers in reverse wanted to flip out, but let me go ahead and focus. What propels you forward? This kind of wanted to flip, and I'm going to go ahead and what propels you forward? I'm going to take that there. Clarification of the Six of Wands in reverse. Please clarify what propels them forward. Yeah, oh wow, guys, we're seriously getting a story. Five of Pentacles on top. The Knight of Pentacles kind of wanted to show up in the reverse. What is the heart of our situation? What is the heart of our situation? Ooh. Wow. Ooh, I love these reads. I really miss them. I know it's a bit much to do more than one a month, so just the one on the 20th is fine, but that's great. Let me focus. You got the you got the crown chakra. Ooh, you guys are no, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yep, that's third eye. Got you. Okay. Crown, yeah, that's third eye. Sorry, guys. Yep, sorry. Need to double check. Don't mind me. And what kind of energy you got? Oh, got the Six of Hearts. Okay. That makes perfect sense. I'm getting such a good... I'm getting a full picture here. What is your advice? What is deck number 3's advice? I really love these Sacred Traveler. Did I have one over there? Oh, Crapioca. Sorry, guys. I had to do that with this other one. I'm going to shuffle just real quick. Again, I pull cards for myself, and I had a card. I thought I collected all the ones from my my table. The chances of it coming out would be slim, but I still don't want to be taking away your cards. Okay, what is the advice? Okay, this really is popping out. Let me see if it comes out. What is the advice for the situation? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take 2. I normally don't take 2, but that one, what it was is this one flipped out right over this, so I'm taking it as a clarifier, and then this one is the actual advice. All right, guys, so deck number 3, you got a Call of Longing. Don't think we've ever gotten that in our previous reads. So. the call of longing. Okay, I'm sorry. Whew, breathing. It's a good day, but I'm a little worn out. Okay, call of longing. Witches make sure to never be seen flying and seldom soar too high. Ruthie Comfort sits on her lightning staff and watches the swallows easily achieve greater heights than her. The clouds are darkening and if she wants to ascend even higher, there will be risks involved. She longs to follow the brave little birds, but longing can lead us to places we shouldn't attempt to go, such as into the brooding clouds. Or we might weather the storm and break through it, only to find what lies beyond is disappointing. The grass is certainly not greener at all. So here we have a story about somebody who wants to soar really high, someone who's watching other people, right? The other thing is, when I see birds, I typically think of kind of social media. Like I think of Twitter and I think of Facebook, excuse me, because birds are chatter, right? It's fast. I'm sorry, you had 6 upside down. What was weird is it flipped and it went to 3 hearts upside down again. Gosh, guys, I really think that we have some kind of central energy going on. But birds, I think of talk and chatter, but I do also think of what I'm kind of feeling is if maybe, you know, we're going into a Mercury retrograde this week, and it really makes you think about things, and it's Mercury in Pisces. So the thing about that is that Pisces is a squared sign to Gemini and Virgo. It's a very dreamy sign. And the fact that it's moving backwards in the placement of communication, it's going to make things very, very blurry. That's the only way I can describe it. And if you know your astrological chart, go ahead and look at what house Pisces is on, because that would be the place that's affected the most by this, this murky communication. It's going to be a lot of people looking at situations from a very unique perspective, but a very unclear one. So the fact and the reason I talk about that is because I really get the feeling as if you feel like you are not in the same place. It's like you know what you can do. And have you ever had the moments in your life where you're like, I'm of this age and I should have ABC, I should have achieved this by now, I should have a house, I should have this. And you look at other people's social media and you think that they have it all. Right? And it's the highlight reel. And psychologically, it is proven that social media is okay as long as you are not, it's a double-edged sword. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. The moment that you look at other people and think you see the highlight reel, and the highlight reel is true. It is the high points of other people's lives, but it doesn't mean that you can't do what you want to set out to do. So I'm kind of getting that vibe. It's almost as if you're looking around and you're seeing other people have the achievements that you wanted to achieve, and you know that you could just zoom on that broom. You could go as high, you could go higher than they could go, but you're limited. You feel held back, right? And again, that's where I'm thinking this Mercury retrograde and a murky sign is making you, it's almost intensifying that. It's really making you look at the highlight reel and think, oh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not, but there are risks for that. You don't want to rush and go too fast, too far, too quick. The other thing is you do also want to take stock of how far you have come already. She's soaring pretty high. You don't want to fly into the stratosphere where the air gets thin and you pass out and fall to the ground. You know what I mean? There are risks. So, but you feel, sometimes there are moments that you feel really amped up and held back. The other thing is, Mars is in Capricorn and Venus is in Aries, so people are going to feel like they have, like you're hitting the accelerator and hitting the brake on the car at the same time. Like really, a lot of people are just going to feel very blocked. But I'm sorry, astrologer hat off. But that is kind of the vibe. I really get the feeling like you're tired of waiting, you're tired of being held back, you're tired of feeling like you can't, you know what you're capable of, and you just want to zoom and soar. But there's something in right now, it's telling you that you gotta kind of wait a little bit. Your time to shine is coming. I'm getting this strong vibe. Your time to shine is coming. And what I thought was great about what came out is that what's holding you back is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is the moving on card. It's the card of slowly and steadying, slowly but steadily moving to calmer waters, right? You see a starry sky and they're just rowing along in the boat. Now, what I see, and directly under that, you got the card Distant Thunder, right? And this is supposed to be your advice card, but it flipped out over the card that holds you back. So I'm going to read it as a clarifier, and it says clear the air, right? So I think what might have happened is, what's happening is there might be something in your past, because there's also a mountain and lightning. And the thing that I'm seeing here also is that it talked in the story about how there's lightning, right? There's a storm, right? There's a storm. I think what it's telling you is that in the past, there might have been something, you might have had a situation that was very electric. It was very, the other thing about electricity, it's sudden. I'm feeling kind of tower. You had a tower moment that really kind of reset things. I did a How to Tarot. I do a weekly series called How to Tarot. If you get a chance to watch the tower, there's an area that talks about resetting, like setting something back to its default settings. I'm getting that feeling that in your past, you had some kind of event. You probably had some kind of falling out with someone, or some kind of life event that got you feeling like you were set back, right? You feel like it was a setback, and it was something you had kind of a closure, clearing out, and very verbal, again, clear the air and then moving forward. So I have a feeling that you kind of feel like you got like a hard reset about something. And then with that being in the past, or what's holding you back, I think you feel like you got put back to step one. You got put back to zero, right? And you feel like you've got to play catch up, or you feel like everything, maybe this does kind of feel a little relationship related. Maybe you felt like a relationship was really going where you wanted it to go, and then something happened, and then you're right back to where you started, and it's very disheartening. It left you feeling kind of crestfallen, like, okay, now here I am back at zero, starting afresh, and you almost kind of want to rush it. And the thing about the Six of Wands is that the Six of Wands is a slow moving card, right? They're not on a yacht, they're not chugging along, they're taking a stick and kind of, rowing as they go. So if you did just come out of a situation where you were, you had a hard reset, the universe is just kind of telling you that it's okay. It understands your restlessness, and you're looking at other people going, okay, why? The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that you might be looking at other people and going, why is it so easy for them? And so what am I doing wrong, right? I can do this. Let me zoom, but I think again, that it's that blurry perception. You feel like you have to play catch up, or you feel like you have to prove that, that you deserve to have what you want. Now, where you're going, where you're going is you got the Six of Wands in reverse. You got the flip side of the Six of Wands. And what I think is great about this card is that, because the Six of Wands is that victory card, this is the upright, right? But when you look at the back, you see it looks all gray, right? You see what was involved to gain that victory, right? And you see mountains in the distance, or I'm sorry, those are the dude's hands, but you see blood and you see smoke. And I think what it's telling you is that, this victorious outcome that you're envisioning, the one that you want to get to, it takes, in order to get to that, it's not pretty, you know what I mean? It's going to be a kind of a long, steady climb. And you've already, again, you cleared the air, right? You see dark clouds in both of these cards, right? You've already kind of started the process of that, but you're not going to zoom through that process. You cleared the air, and you're going to be moving forward to this victory, but the Six of Wands in reverse is a delayed victory. Either that or it's a hollow one. So now I did go ahead and get a clarifier, because it could be, because one of the definitions is hollow victory, a fruitless one that wasn't worth it. I went ahead and I got the Six of Cups. So I am getting the vibe as if, because these are all sixes, guys, 666. And what it is telling me is that I am getting a vibe that this is, you might have ended a relationship, or you had some kind of parting of ways with somebody. It kind of came in a very sudden lightning bolt kind of way, but it was kind of final. And afterwards, there was kind of like, okay, well, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. This is done. This is done. What was said is said. But moving forward, you're actually going to start feeling not the consequences of it, but sometimes in the moment it's real easy to make it all cut and dry, and it's never cut and dry. As time progresses, as the weeks go by, all of a sudden you start to feel what a bloody victory it was, because there's blood all over these guys, right? There's smoke. It isn't, from the outsider's perspective, it's all golden glow, but on the other side of the coin, you were there when the blows were dealt, right? And it wasn't glorious at all. But the other side of it is that I am seeing that whomever that the falling out happened, they are still around, and they are going to come back around, because there's memories here. There's memories here. And again, there are people. So what's happening is, I really get the feeling that this was sudden, and you felt like it was all tied up in a nice little bow. And then you're like, okay, on with my life. All things are great. And you want to zoom and go, and you want to catch up. But that, you gotta kind of, it's almost asking you to kind of sit in the emotions of what happened. Really think about the exchange. Was it all that you thought it was? And it's almost asking you to really kind of not rush through anything, really take your time and deal with the emotions. It's never good to kind of zoom through a healing, because that is also what the Six of Swords is. It's healing. And it being what's holding you back is that healing, or wanting to get in that boat right now, is probably not what you want to do. And there's a concept that talks when you're grieving, and that would count, it counts for losing someone. It also counts for breakups. But they talk about sitting in the poop, sitting in the crap. And what it is that you're going to have moments that all of the events that transpired are going to crop up, and you're going to relive it, and in 5D vivid, replay. And you're going to remember all the bloody blows, and you're going to be like, but there were these hits, and then there were these, good words, but what you're going to need to do is you're really going to need to work through those. And some of that means sitting in the poop. It means sitting in those kind of not so fun emotions. And that is staying below the storm, right? That's staying below the storm. You don't rush, just kind of go through this. The other thing is, the other vibe that I'm kind of getting from this is that I really am getting a feeling as if you have to kind of show a brave face, even though you've been through you've been through the war, but it's almost as if, it's entirely possible that the other person might be making you out as being a little bit of the bad guy, not intentionally, but you know how it goes. The other thing with birds is that that's people talking, it's chatter. And anytime there's a falling out between people, and it doesn't even have to be romantic, if there's if you had kind of an event with a coworker, if you had an event with a family member, all of a sudden it isn't that everyone's quick to take sides, but the two sides of the story start to circulate, right? And there's usually two perceptions, right? And the two perception is either, wow, that person was the leader, the ringleader of that bloody battle, and look at them sitting all pretty after they put us through all the pillaging. And then the other one was, the other perception is, oh, well, I just walked up and said, hey, and they did this to me, So I think you're going to have to kind of navigate. That's the other thing I'm kind of feeling, is you might kind of have to navigate that. And, and again, it could also mean that while you're holding strong, you might still have to see this person, or the feelings, the feelings, the fact that you're moving forward with it too, is that you might come to a peaceful resolution too. You might come to a peaceful resolution. Now, the dragon's heart of your situation, and I am going to go ahead and read this. I do have a basic definition of the card, but you got strength, and I love the globe in this. The strength to accomplish even the most daunting tasks is yours at this time. Let me flip the page. You can connect and channel the power of the universe. The strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are being deepened. No matter what happens, nothing can move you off the course of evolution. As the potency of your connections becomes more obvious, you are able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding a form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and resilience and reliance on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. So it is telling you, again, it's telling you that you have the strength to do this. And it's, it's letting you know that, this does not need to be done overnight. You don't have to and the other thing is, you don't have to feel like you're weak in comparison to other people. Nobody else is better than you, right? And your advice card is, you got watching class, which is lie back, rest, and relax. So lie back, rest, and relax. So I do think that, the other side of this too is that moving forward, you are coming back from this battle, and then you see the more peaceful. It's almost like you're coming back. I think it is kind of telling you that you do need to kind of take it easy. I think that you've been pushing really hard. And again, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to show that you are I know that it really seems like you want to be at a certain place or you want to achieve a certain goal, but again, kind of go at the pace of the universe. Try to channel the energy. I think the universe wants to give you strength at this time. They want to let you know, but I think it also, the fact that you have a lot of green in this card and a lot of green in that one, I think it's way of saying that what you want will come to you, right? You will get what you want. You will get what you want. And again, the victory card being in reverse, it just means delayed victory. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting was that the Six of Hearts is the Six of Cups in tarot. But the way that the impression that I got was I'm looking this as like the number of lives, right? And normally the number of lives in the upright would be like, okay, you have a full, you have all your lives. And here you see it in reverse. So here I'm really kind of reading it like strength. I think, again, I feel like you're kind of struggling. You have all this vitality in you and you want to express it. But I think it's, again, it's the universe's way of saying that you have to kind of express it in a channeled way. You're going to burn yourself out if you push too hard, too fast. Yes, you have all of the ability to get where you want to go, but it's going to have to come in kind of a certain pattern, and it might come in divine timing. But just know that that energy that you're feeling, that drive is kind of coming, from the source. It is coming through you, and the universe always wants to give you what you want. I truly believe that you would never have a passion for something if it was not meant to be yours, right? And the chakra die that you got is you got the number 1. And you got the third eye chakra. And what's great about that die is that it's the, what is it? Sorry, guys. Really not. It's a caldrop. And it's usually used for, it's used for when you're rolling with small weapons like knives and stuff, possibly flying brooms. But what is beautiful about it is the number 1 is a beginning, right? The number 1 is the first step in your journey. So I do think that you are, and the fact that the strength card is 44, that's stability. Those are the 4. So I think, again, you're starting off on a journey. You're going to get, but you are, just like we said before, you're kind of starting off back at 0, right? You got to work up to those 6 lives. And the thing about the third eye chakra is that when it's positively expressed, it means insight. But when it's negatively expressed, it means illusion. And remember how we talked about Pisces and we talked about illusion, about seeing things through a blurry lens? I think it might be good to just kind of hold off for right now and just kind of, again, the universe, really, the advice is telling you to rest. It's kind of like, okay, you've done the work, right? You've come to a certain point, right? You're starting off afresh. You don't have to go from 1 to 10 overnight. You want to, but the other thing that I think it is kind of telling you is that with the Six of Cups and kind of in reverse there and upright here, I think you are going to have a positive resolution to whatever the situation is. It's going to turn out better than you expect. But right now you feel like you want to race off in another direction and not even deal with it because it's giving you grief, right? You've had to fight kind of a bloody battle that you didn't want to, and it sets you back, and it's making you feel like, like you can't soar as high as you want to, or that you'll never attain what you want. But it's just letting you know that, don't believe that, also use the insight, right? Rest and regain your strength. Know that you have the ability, and you are going to see the victory. It's a little delayed, but things are going to get a lot better, but also I would also just say, again, with all those birds, don't listen to what's going around the water cooler. If there is some talk or it's possible that someone, that there might be some some either rumors about you or people just, people who think they know what's going on, who don't know what's going on, don't take that to heart. Don't listen to that. Don't let any other perception of you right now, measure your worth. You know who you are. All right, guys. Well, that was really awesome. I always enjoy those reads. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If this is a read that you like, I would be very honored if you would, drop a like, a comment, or if you are so inclined, if you want to subscribe. I do host these every 20th of the month. And then I did just do the How to Tarot a few days ago for Judgment. And this weekend, every Saturday, I do the weekly card energy reading, which is just your weekly what to expect, what the energies are looking like for the next 7 days. So I hope you can join me for one of those, and I'll catch you later. Bye.